Most people imagine that an unhappy dog looks obvious. They picture a dog that refuses to eat, destroys furniture, or constantly barks for attention, but the truth is often far more subtle than that. Many dogs continue eating, sleeping, and following their owners around while silently adapting to a life that no longer excites or fulfills them. They don't complain. They don't explain what they need. They simply adjust little by little until certain parts of their... What makes this difficult is that these changes rarely happen overnight. They happen gradually, hidden inside everyday routines. And because we see our dogs every day, we often miss the transformation. Today we're going to explore 5 quiet signs that your dog may be missing something important in life. Not because you're a bad owner, but because some of the most meaningful needs a dog has are also the easiest to overlook. The spark is slowly Think back to when your dog was younger. The spark is slowly Maybe they rushed to the door when you grabbed the leash. Maybe they became excited whenever you called their name. Perhaps they eagerly explored every corner of a new park, as if the world was filled with endless possibilities. Now ask yourself something honestly. Do you still see that same? Dogs naturally become calmer as they age, but there is a difference between maturity and emotional disengagement. A dog that is emotionally fulfilled still shows curiosity. When that spark begins to disappear, many owners assume their dog is simply becoming more relaxed. Sometimes that's true. Other times the dog has simply stopped expecting anything new. Imagine reading the same chapter of the same book every day for years. Even if you loved it at first, eventually For many dogs, life can become predictable in exactly that way. The same walk, the same path, the same backyard, the same schedule, the same experiences. Dogs experience the world through exploration. Every scent, sound, and environment provides information. Without enough variety, their world can... The loss of excitement is rarely dramatic. It often appears as quiet indifference. And that's why so many people... Your dog seems present. One of the biggest misconceptions about companionship is the belief that being near someone automatically creates connection. It doesn't. A family can sit together in the same room while feeling completely disconnected from one another. The same thing can happen. Many dogs spend hours beside their owners every day. They lie near the couch. They sleep at their owner's feet. They follow them From the outside, it looks like closeness. But closeness and connection are not always the same thing. Real connection happens during moments of shared attention. It happens when a dog looks at you and receives a response. It happens during play, during training, during walks where you're both engaged in the experience, during quiet moments when your focus is entirely on them. Modern life creates endless distractions. Phones vibrate, screens glow. Notifications compete for attention every few minutes. Without realizing it, many people spend more time physically near their dogs than emotionally connected to them. Dogs notice this more than we think. They may not understand technology, but they understand attention. And attention is one of the most powerful forms of affection a dog can receive. Humans often enjoy spontaneity. Dogs generally prefer clarity. Imagine living in a place where the rules changed every day. One morning breakfast arrives early. The next morning it arrives much later. Some days you receive attention, other days everyone seems too busy. One behavior is acceptable today but discouraged tomorrow. Eventually, uncertainty begins to create tension. Dogs rely heavily on patterns. Patterns help them understand what is safe, what is expected, and what comes next. When life feels unpredictable, many dogs become more cautious. Some become clingy. Others become withdrawn. A few become restless. The reaction varies, but the emotional source is often the same: uncertainty. This doesn't mean every minute of your dog's day must be scheduled. Life doesn't need military precision, but consistency creates confidence. And confidence creates emotional stability. A dog that understands its environment usually feels safer navigating it. They rarely get to make choices. This is something many owners never consider. Most dogs spend their entire lives following decisions made by someone else. Someone decides when they eat, when they walk, where they go, when playtime starts, when it ends. Of course, guidance is necessary. Dogs depend on us. But emotional well-being also involves opportunities to make simple choices. Which path would they like to explore during a walk? Which toy interests them today? Would they prefer to sniff a tree for 30 seconds instead of immediately moving on? These small moments may seem insignificant. To a dog, they can be surprisingly meaningful. Choice creates engagement. Choice creates curiosity. Choice creates a sense of participation in life. When everything becomes controlled and rushed, dogs often lose opportunities to express natural behaviors. The result isn't necessarily rebellion. More often, it's passivity. The dog simply stops offering initiative. And when initiative disappears, a piece of their personality can disappear with it. Success has become invisible. Most owners notice mistakes immediately: a chewed shoe, a muddy floor, an unwanted behavior. Mistakes capture attention because they create problems. But what about success? What about the hundreds of things your dog does correctly every single day? The moments when they listen, wait patiently, remain calm, respond appropriately. Many dogs receive far more feedback when they do something wrong than when they do something right. Over time, this creates an imbalance. Imagine working at a job where your efforts were rarely acknowledged, but every mistake received immediate attention. Even the most motivated person would eventually feel discouraged. Dogs are not so different. Positive reinforcement is not simply a training technique. It is communication. It tells a dog, yes, that was good. You succeeded. Those messages build confidence, and confidence shapes behavior far more effectively than constant correction. The most important needs in a dog's life are often not the most expensive ones. A dog doesn't measure happiness by the price of a toy, the size of a backyard, or the brand of food sitting in a bowl. What matters most is often much simpler: meaningful experiences, predictability, attention, opportunities to explore, moments of success, and genuine connection. When these things are present, dogs tend to become more confident, more engaged, and more emotionally balanced. So tonight, take a moment to really look at your dog, not just at what they are doing, but at who they are becoming. You may discover small changes that have gone unnoticed for months. And if you enjoyed this video and want more insights into understanding your dog's behavior, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every week we share new ways to help you build a stronger, happier relationship with your best friend. We'll see you in the next video.